Justin Trudeau has announced he's stepping down as the Prime Minister of Canada and as the leader of his party. He's been in office for 9 years. He also announced the temporary suspension of Parliament. Mr. Trudeau has been under pressure to resign for months.
In other ways, the world is changing. Justin Trudeau announced yesterday that he intends to resign as the head of the Liberal Party in Canada, which means that the minute that he is replaced as head of the Liberal Party, that person will then take the prime ministership up until the next election, unless there is a vote of no confidence, which there absolutely 100% should be, considering this doof, if he were to run in the upcoming election, would win about 20% of the vote.
Canada's political landscape just took a wild turn, or did it? Rumors are swirling, and Ben Shapiro isn't holding back as he tears into Justin Trudeau's so-called resignation. In today's video, we'll discuss the truth behind the resignation claims, Trudeau's latest controversies, and why Ben Shapiro is calling it out in classic, no-holds-barred fashion. Let's break it all down.
Is because he's really, really bad at his job. But the final capper on him being bad at his job was the election of Donald Trump, who has declared that Justin Trudeau might be the governor of our 51st state.
Hey, quick favor before we move on. If you find this political content interesting, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Most of you watch without subscribing and it's free, but it helps us out so much. Have you done it yet? Thanks a ton for the support. Now let's get back to the video.
I intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Justin Trudeau has officially stepped down as the leader of Canada's Liberal Party, marking a significant shift in the country's political landscape. However, this does not mean he has relinquished his position as Prime Minister. For now, Trudeau remains in office, serving in a caretaker capacity while maintaining his responsibilities as the head of government. Despite resigning from his role as party leader, he continues to hold the prime ministerial seat, raising questions about what this could mean for Canada's political future.
I'm a fighter. Every bone in my body has always told me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians, I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated.
In Trudeau's own words, I'm a fighter. Every bone in my body tells me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians in this country. While that statement might resonate with his supporters, let's be honest, this isn't the dignified exit of a leader bowing out on his own terms. Instead, it's a calculated, last-ditch effort to preserve whatever influence he has left as Pierre Poilievre gains momentum, ready to dismantle Trudeau's legacy and leave him in the dust. Trudeau isn't walking away. He's clinging on, trying to delay the inevitable. And who better to call out this charade than Ben Shapiro? It's strikingly similar to Joe Biden's decision to step aside from re-election, leaving the door open for Kamala Harris while still holding on to the presidency. In Trudeau's case, it's a comparable scenario. He may have resigned as Liberal Party leader, but he's still firmly seated as Prime Minister. Unless a vote of no confidence or an election forces him out, Trudeau isn't going anywhere just yet.
He stepped down as the head of his party, but he's still currently the Prime Minister of Canada. So it's sort of like when Joe Biden decided.
When Shapiro draws parallels between Trudeau and Biden, the comparison hits painfully close to home. Both leaders seem determined to cling to power, even as their countries grapple with the fallout from their missteps. Trudeau stepping down as Liberal leader while remaining Prime Minister feels like little more than rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. It's all headed for disaster regardless. The real question is, what's behind Trudeau's move? Is he terrified of Pierre Poilievre's unstoppable rise, or is he desperately trying to rewrite the rules before Canadians have the chance to vote him out for good? Opposition could seize this moment to trigger a no-confident vote, using Trudeau's resignation as Liberal leader as their rallying cry. They could argue, this is absurd. Everyone knows Trudeau should no longer be Prime Minister. It's no secret. The Liberal Party knows it, the opposition knows it, and most importantly, the Canadian people know it.
And finally, from Canada, Justin Trudeau, once the face of modern Canada and a global liberal icon, now finds himself at the center of one of the most dramatic political downfalls in Canadian history. From his meteoric rise in 2015, fueled by promises of change and optimism, to his devastating collapse in 2024.
Trudeau's leadership has turned into a running joke in Canadian politics. A no-confidence vote wouldn't just be a procedural move, it would be a breath of fresh air for Canadians who are fed up with his detached elitist approach to governance. On the other hand, Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party are riding an unprecedented wave of popularity, positioning themselves for what looks like an inevitable landslide victory. This isn't just momentum, it's a political freight train obliterating Trudeau's legacy. Poilievre isn't merely gaining ground, he's systematically dismantling the Liberal stronghold seat by seat, and Trudeau can see the writing on the wall. Why is Trudeau so determined to delay the inevitable? His tenure as Prime Minister has been riddled with controversies and failures. From cracking down on trucker protests and freezing citizens' bank accounts to invoking emergency powers, his heavy-handed approach has alienated countless Canadians. Economically, his policies have been nothing short of disastrous. Soaring taxes, reckless spending, and immigration strategies that have deepened divisions instead of fostering unity. OP of his own congressman, Gaël Peel, step up. These missteps have left Canadians feeling disillusioned, questioning if their voices truly carry any weight.
Be reaching a point of no return. Yesterday, several outlets reported that the Quebec caucus of his Liberal Party tasked their leader with telling the PM he must step down. The party's MPs from Ontario and the Atlantic provinces have reached the same conclusion. Parliament resumes from its winter break on January 27th.
Trudeau's failures aren't just a Canadian issue. They're part of a larger global trend. Leaders like him who prioritize global agendas over the needs of their own citizens are facing mounting backlash. We've seen it in Germany, France, and now Canada. The message from voters is loud and clear. They're done with out-of-touch elites who put ideology over the everyday struggles of the people they were elected to serve. Even within his own ranks, Trudeau is under immense pressure to step aside, with polls showing the Conservatives surging at 44.2% and the Liberals floundering at a dismal 20.1%. It's clear his leadership is a liability. When your own party wants you gone, the writing is on the wall. Trudeau's decision to resign as Liberal leader isn't about serving Canadians. It's a calculated move to save face before an unstoppable Conservative landslide sweeps him and his party into irrelevance.
An opposition could trigger a no-confidence vote based on Trudeau stepping down. They could say, listen, this is all ridiculous. We all know that Trudeau should not be the Prime Minister. The Liberal Party knows it. We know it. Everybody knows it. The problem is they've tried several times. The Conservative Party, which is currently polling extremely well, led by Pierre Poilievre. He is absolutely steady, steadfast, ideologically coherent, excellent on everything from foreign policy to domestic policy, a true classically conservative leader. Probably even more right-wing than Stephen Harper was.
If an election were held tomorrow, the outcome would be devastating for Trudeau and his party. Pierre Poilievre would secure a commanding Conservative majority of 227 seats, slashing the Liberals to a mere 44 seats from their current 153. Such a result wouldn't just be a political defeat. It would, under Poilievre's leadership, the era of virtue signaling and carbon tax theatrics would come to an end, replaced by practical, results-driven policies aimed at rebuilding Canada from the ground up. Share your thoughts on this developing story in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more update like this, and we'll see you in the next one.